All right, good day, everybody. This is E. Marcel Pertuna, and welcome to another edition of the original Free Kick. On this edition of the show, we're going to preview Atlanta United's upcoming contest against Orlando City in the Eastern Conference semifinals of the MLS playoffs. And we have audio from midfielder Saba Lobjanidze and interim manager Rob Valentino, and much more. Before we get to Saba and Rob, as always, to follow everything that we do, go to the mothership, the sportsinquirer.net, premier site for news and notes in the world of sports. You can also go to our social media platforms on Twitter/X, Instagram, and Facebook. And make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our audio and video hosts, which include YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, and more. As I mentioned, Atlanta United is going to be facing Orlando City on the road in the semifinals, Eastern Conference semifinals of the MLS playoffs, and that match takes place on November 24th. Before that, we were able to attend the press conference of several players and coaches, including Saba, who we're going to play right now. He starts off discussing returning to the United States after his activities with the Georgian national team, not the state of Georgia, the country of Georgia, and the international break, and also preparing to face Orlando City. So let's get to Saba, and then we'll be right back with Rob. Enjoy.
Yeah, I feel good.
When did you get back?
2 days ago, so not fresh.
When you're away like that for international duty and Atlanta United has a game coming up, do they send you video? Do they send you scouting reports? Are you able to spend
Yeah,
any
of
time?
course, of course. I'm checking with them, so they're texting me, and yeah, I'm with the team. Like still, I'm quite far away, but still, I'm with the team.
So you feel like you're able to properly prepare for this? Okay.
And then I can watch the training.
All right. You had a really good game against Orlando the last time you all played. When you look back on that, why did things work so well for you in that game?
Yeah, I mean like the team was playing good. That's why. So yeah, for me it doesn't matter. Opponent like every time 100%. So like I hope to be good.
Why are y'all playing so well on the road now compared to the beginning of the year?
Yeah, I mean it's really different because like since I'm here, like we had every time for the away games, but we are like I don't know, and maybe we are doing I don't know like 150%. That's why. Like,
All right.
How much impact does Rob Valentino and his staff had on the team? You've been winning lately, you've been getting good results. How
yeah,
much of an
I mean,
impact?
of course, like you can see the results, you know, like so, like and stuff. It's a for result. It's a big point for them, you know, like so. Of course, big impact.
Saba, when the team wasn't getting results earlier in the year, where has that belief come from that you kind
Yeah.
of seems like you've known that you were capable
Yeah, I
of this?
mean, I'm always was like I believe my team, you know, like I even when we are struggling a lot, still I was like, we can do it, you know, and. When we go through in playoff, I was like, you know, like we can go for a final. You know, so, like I was not like my like showing my arm, you know, like first round. You know, like I was like, still I'm like, you know, I can go to you know, like for final.
When in the Miami series, when Brooks Lennon went down, that kind of shifted your role going forward in that series. You played more as a wing back.
Yeah.
What was that like for you? Had you played that position before, that role before?
Honestly, not a lot. So like it was like, I don't know, for like few times I played only. I don't remember when. So like in Atlanta it was first time. So like, but still, you know, like I'm just, you know, I don't care too much where I will be. But like my important thing is I'm on the pitch, you know, so it doesn't matter where I will do my job.
How much difficult is it going to be Orlando compared to Inter Miami, the one that you guys?
It will be difficult for sure. It will be difficult, but still for me it's a different teams, like, and they have some same style, like something like they love to position, both teams, but let's see, like I'm interested also, like so let's see.
There were moments against Miami where someone like Morgado was able to get behind. How much does the staff work with you on knowing when to get forward and when to leave that space behind?
Yeah, I think like these last 3 games, I did a like crazy experience with Cordio, like because he was not stopping me offensively, so like it was really hard to catch him, But like it was nice, like, because I had more experience. Because he can play every week, like player like Cordio. So,
Do you have similar worries that someone like that that might be able to exploit space behind?
yeah, I mean, like it's like like I'm not expecting like something logged in, like it's like you have to be focused on 100%, so like you need to be space.
In the Miami series, it felt like you and Bartosz and Alexei were really starting to find combinations between the 3 of you. How's that chemistry developing?
Yeah, I mean, like there's a moment like we play both, like all 3 guys play in almost same position, like, and we are trying something, so like, I mean, like with every player to create something, it's good for me, so like even partying with Alex also, like, so I like this.
On that right side, you've had Ronald kind of inside of you when you were in the line of 5. You played with him a good bit. How does he help you do what you do well?
Yeah, I mean, like I have I'm free in offensive, this is the most key for me, like to point, because like he's covering me, like, and he's ready to defend, like he's every time behind me, so like I'm really safe with that, and I feel good.
Have you thought about that last Orlando goal that got called off? That was the difference in y'all making the playoffs. So when y'all played Orlando on decision day, that last goal late that got called off for Orlando.
Yeah.
Just thought about that was the difference in y'all not being here now, not making the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, like I would be like so straight. Like, well, I just remember like when I was on the pitch, like I just wanted to win the game.
All right, and that was Saba discussing the team, and Matt, it's interesting. They're going back to Orlando City, the place where they had to get that win to advance and qualify for the MLS playoffs. And obviously, you see the run that they've been on against winning at Montreal, getting 2 out of 3 wins against Miami, and just everything that's gone on from there. Just a really impressive run by Atlanta United. And leading that charge has been interim manager Rob Valentino. And he's been a big upgrade for Atlanta, at least in the last part of the year, from the coaching standpoint and just what they've been able to do. Let's hear from Rob discussing how they handled the international break, preparing for Orlando City, and much more going on with the squad. Here is interim manager Rob Valentino.
Front right. When the guys are away for international duty and you have an important game coming up, how do you communicate with them about scouting reports? And do you send them film of training? What all goes into that process?
We always upload training to a platform where everybody can watch. I try to be really respectful of their time with their national team, especially in important games. It's a real honor to get to play for your national team, and especially the big games that these guys have gone and played in. So I really don't try to mess with them there. They're getting their information from their coaches and try to be respectful of their process. But I also try to push them luck or sometimes just leave them to their own different ways. But I definitely don't overload them with information from back here. As soon as they get back, we catch them up to speed and go about our normal process.
Okay, so just so I'm understanding, they do have access to watch things, but you don't push them to do so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, no. If they said, hey, can you put something else on the platform, no problem. Put any kind of meeting or videos up there that they might need.
So, how would you describe this process then of trying to prepare for Orlando when you've had several starters out for international duty and a couple of them only for 2 training sessions?
It's great. It's a great situation to be in. Our guys are playing in their national teams. I told them that's an honor. I look at it as an awesome situation for them to go play with the national teams, for guys here to get the training they need. So we're in the position of being in the playoffs. The international break happened. It doesn't affect us in that way. Of the guys that were here got to train and work towards the goal of playing the next game. The ones that were away got their chances to represent their countries, and also now they're back and fully healthy. That's the big thing. But yeah, starter, non-starter, like everybody's a valued member of the team, and we've seen that in the playoffs. We've seen that down the stretch that anyone can be called at any time. So we just prepare the team as best we can.
Does it help that y'all just played Orlando a couple of weeks ago, and so there's still some muscle memory and remembrances there?
Yeah, I mean, it's every game is different. Like playoffs are a whole different beast. They've been very consistent. They've been really good, even on the last day going up to play them. Like they've been consistent who they are. They've been one of the better teams in the later stages of the league. So I don't know how much it helps, or they forget the games anyway as quickly as they go. And I feel like this is almost like a whole nother mini season again. So we just give them reminders as we get closer.
Another road win against Miami. That's 5 out of the last 6 or something like that. What has been the key to that success this late in the season?
I mean, there's not one thing. It's just being collective efforts together and really having our own internal belief. It's not that's not a tactical answer in that way, but we have a belief in ourselves that, again, the home and away, it shouldn't affect them in the ways that people might think, because we talk about blocking out the noise anyway. And that's, again, I've said this before, like at home, we want to hopefully bring energy to the crowd, and that noise then goes from there. It's not the other way around. It shouldn't be them bringing energy to the guys. Like, they should have their own intrinsic motivation and their own intrinsic energy. So home or away shouldn't affect that.
Orlando has a number of options at striker. How y'all going to be there?
I mean, they're very, very dangerous in their front half. They've made, I would say, relatively similar substitutions as games have gone. They do similar things. They have different qualities in each individual, so we're prepared to play their team. And then as individuals have different qualities, we've talked about those qualities and how we can put them in different areas or avoid them playing the balls in certain areas or different runs, just like any other team really. But they have a lot of quality, that one that starts the game and also can help them finish the game.
There were moments against Miami where Saba in a new position, maybe to bring my space behind him, where there was opportunities for there's space behind him. What do you think on that as far as understanding when you intend to cover that space?
Yeah, I mean, he has this high alertness. Like, especially against Miami, it was a whole different scenario. The way they play on that left side, we knew that they would create. They've done it all year long. So even the best defenders in the league, and I'm not discrediting Saba in his defending, but just the best defenders in the league have difficulty dealing with it. So whether he's in a higher position, we've talked about how we deal with the defensive transition moments. So if it's the back line or midfielders covering those areas, and tracking runners becomes really important. So it's not only his job, but it becomes the job of the team of covering for each other.
Talk about transition moments against Miami. Obviously, there were plenty of transition moments against the back line. It wasn't all that organized. Orlando probably more active in this game. So those transition moments aren't there on the same way. What's he thinking about? What's on top?
Yeah, I mean, look, that's one way to attack them is how you can build offense to attack transition, but the other part is about how we can be useful and intentional with the ball. Whether it's longer spells of possession or it's more direct to balls in behind, there's different areas where we think we can hurt them. So it won't just be playing, this isn't just playing on the counter, but it is, I feel like, a strength of some of the players on this team.
How important will it be on Sunday to control play in the midfield going up against Orlando?
Excuse me, going up against
Orlando.
Yeah, of course, really important. No matter who plays, like we've had say, 4 of those guys that are competing for those spots. Whether we play with 2 or 3 in midfield, it becomes really important. They've got really good midfielders as well. So Sam touched on the front players, but they've got a good team, and so it'll be the midfield's just one of the battles that we'll have to obviously try to win and limit them from doing things, but also exploit in different ways with whether it's 3 or 2 or a 4th midfielder in there in some ways.
What about Dax McCarty and just his contributions and also managing him? He started some matches, he come off the bench, but how's been just managing his workload and having him at peak condition for this time of season?
Yeah, in terms of the second part of the question, he knows his body better than any of us. He's played for almost 20 years, and so it's having open and honest conversation with him about how he's feeling and making sure we don't need him to train every second of every training session. He needs to feel fresh and ready to go for the games, whether that's in a substitution role or a role that's starting. So he's been great in that term in terms of how we can manage him through the sessions, and he's been available for him. So that's availability of training sessions is important. And then the games are being available for the games, and his leadership is one second to none. He's got experience. He's been in these tough scenarios before, so we're really relying on guys like that, and his experience has been helpful.
Rob, you talk about the belief in the team. FEA, what was the genesis of that?
Just goes down to a lot of different things. I laugh just because like it's not the. You guys have known me long enough now. Is the words, like the actual word is probably not something you would say like that's something Rob up like, but it was something that I had seen a long time ago in the Patriots documentary with Tom Brady, and I thought the way he said it, I was like, all right, I can feel it. I can understand what that might feel like. And he's on the top end of what sport, and they were on the top end of dominating team sports, and he was still being criticized. So it came down to a thing of no matter if they tell you you're good or bad, it really shouldn't matter what they say or anyone says. It's about what you guys believe in your own locker rooms and what you see actually happening. So it's having a realistic look at it and not letting things from the outside distract you. So it is funny to see everyone kind of get behind it. The choice words are not always the best, but I think it's great that everybody is behind one message at least.
Was part of the reason that rang true to you because you were seeing something different on the training field or even some of the games where you weren't necessarily getting the results and you kind of wanted the team to just believe in the way that they were playing?
Yeah, we've been trying to get them to believe in themselves. So I wouldn't say it's like a light bulb moment of like, hey, this is like, those things aren't planned out. It's not like I'm just going to say this and this is going to catch, and it's not the way it works, right? But I think that myself, the staff, we've seen something in the group, and this has been all year long, that there's something there. Sam's touched on it before. I think when I can remember being here at the beginning of June and him saying about when's essentially the luck going to turn almost, like with some of the data points and things like that. So we feel like it's been there, but something needed to click. And that belief, it can only start with us, because if we start relying on the outside or external factors, that only lasts so long. And I'm just a big believer in that they're never as bad as they say, you're never as good as they say. So you stay with what you're doing and what you see, and having realistic, honest conversation and holding each other accountable.
Do you think it helped this team in the Miami series to actually be the big underdogs against like the big bad team and just having that mentality going into it?
Maybe. I think anyone that would have played them would have been the underdog, right? They were the best team the league has ever seen. So whether that helped them or I'm not sure if that was it, or maybe it was us playing them earlier in the year and getting the win. I think that gives them some confidence that you can do it. And then as games go, players will get confidence in different moments. And I think that as they saw, I can vividly remember in the first game, we were able to play on the ball a little bit more, and I think they almost surprised themselves, like, oh, we can do this. It's like, yeah, you can, of course. So I think as moments in games pop up like that, they start to get some belief again in themselves.
Do you feel like this is a team that's kind of been playing with that kind of freeing feeling of we got nothing to lose here, we kind of got in on decision day and we're just playing with house money at this point?
I've heard that phrase. I think Dax uses that a lot. I've always told them, like, there's nothing to lose. Don't play with a fear of failure, because you'll be timid, you'll make mistakes. And since I've been around them, I've always told them, like, I don't care if they make mistakes. It's about the reaction after that. I'd hope that they're not saying, like, hey, we got in by chance. It's not by chance. You stayed persistent, we got in. I can't help that we needed those things to happen and we won the game. Because people could say that's luck, but if we had to just win the Orlando game and we didn't need anything else to go our way, people would say, well, they got in the playoffs. So it is what it is. We got in the playoffs, and how we got in there doesn't matter at this point. So that's irrelevant, and now we push forward of how we're going to continue to advance.
As a manager, does it the fact that this is a single game elimination kind of change the way that you think about the game, set up the team in any sort of way compared to Miami?
No, they've all felt like that to me. Obviously, I think I touched on this the first time we played Miami, that we knew we had 2 games at least, and then after that, they're knockout games from there. So, but the mentality was to try to always win those games. The only thing I would say is different is that we know that there is an extra 30 minutes if it stays tied, and then it goes to penalties. So that will be, if the game is calling for that, then we have to look at how we make substitutions. But we're always there to. The outcome has never changed for me about how we win the game or wanting to win the game. Just how we get there, it might be in different ways.
Now that you've been in charge of 4 playoff games, experience before, but being in charge of 4, is there anything that jumps out to you about how different they are and what's essential to success?
The game is the same, which it's funny because you watch all the other playoff games and you see little things that teams are doing differently. I think it's just the importance of each play, and I love that we've been touching on that for so long now, that each moment, each action is really important, because now it is, for everybody, it is you win or go home. So that one action that you switch off for a second, and that could be a goal against you or a goal for you. So that's really been the only thing that's really changed, but it doesn't change my approach of how I see the game. They're still the same games, and try to put the same importance on all those things anyways.
Oscar Brianza. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The importance of your leadership style, your motivation style, because a lot of players comment on that, you and your staff being closer to them, taking into consideration what they think. How much importance is that on the result you're getting?
The result, I don't know, but for me, it's the foundation. Understanding our players, understanding each other, having empathy, or just having an understanding of who we're dealing with. I think that's important. Yeah, I think no matter what, if you know more about somebody, you're willing to give more. And I don't do it because I want more out of them on the field. They should want that themselves anyways, but I think it helps. And the same on the other end, if they know more about me, they're going to be willing to give more for myself or the rest of the staff, and it just adds more to it. But I think it's the foundation of the way I operate, the way we operate as a staff. It's the way I want to enjoy people in general, so it seems like a no-brainer that why not get to know people to a different level, and then we'll all enjoy the moments that we're having.
You did officially interview for the managerial job. How did that go?
Yeah, you got to ask somebody else.
That was Rob Valentino commenting on yes, he has officially interviewed for the Atlanta United position of head coach or manager for full time. We'll see how that goes after Atlanta's season ends, which may not be for a little while. They're on a really good run, but as I mentioned, the team's preparing to face Orlando City. He commented on a lot of things. You heard what he said. I asked about Dax McCarty and just his importance to the team and balancing his we've seen him start some matches, come off the bench, and just managing his minutes, and that's been a big factor when he's been on the pitch. He is, besides Brad Guzan, who's been just tremendous as goalkeeper. I don't know if we have like an MVP of the postseason so far for Atlanta. Brad would get that, but Dax has been a major contributor, for the team. So it's just interesting, hearing him talk about that, and also Orlando City and their approach to things, and it's going to be very different than facing Miami as far as pragmatically what those teams present. So we'll be following the contest on the tomorrow. they'll be facing them tomorrow in Orlando City. So we'll be keeping up with all of that and much more. And as always, to follow everything that we do, go to the mothership, the sportsinquirer.net, premier site for news and notes in the world of sports. You can also go to our social media platforms on Twitter/X, Instagram, and Facebook. And make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our audio and video hosts, which include YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, and much more. Once again, thank you for watching and listening to this latest edition of the Original Free Kick. Until next time, good fight, good night, and be safe.